gorgeous! Hello, how was your week? Let me know down in the comments. Today, as you could probably tell from the title, I'm going to be doing a no makeup look. So whether you're just staying at home and want to just, feel a bit nicer and more put together, or you have like a Zoom call and you just want to like look a little bit better because computer cameras don't do that much for you. And so if you're interested in this, then please keep on watching. And before we get started, make sure you guys subscribe down below for new videos every other Sunday. And at any point during the video, if you do like it, please give it a thumbs up. That just lets me know that you enjoy it and want to see more content like this. And with all that being said, let's jump into the video. First, we're going to start off with complexion. So we're going to keep it simple, light, but still kind of just enhancing our natural features. So for primer, I'm just going to use the Rimmel Stay Matte Primer. So a few of these products that I'm going to be using today are products that I'm just trying to use up during this quarantine, just because they're not my favorite and I don't really like the way they look on my skin. So I'm just trying to use them up. Obviously, you could skip this step if you have normal skin or if you just don't really use a primer. I personally just have really oily skin and I prefer to keep my skin a bit more matte throughout the day. So this primer just helps me do that. And next, I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is just going to fill in your pores. Again, if you don't have large pores, you can totally skip this step. Or maybe you just want to use this primer because you really like it. I really love it. Just for filling in the pores and making your skin look smooth. It's just a really, really good primer. And it's only $8, which is amazing. I'm really curious to try the matte version of this one because, again, I do have oily skin and I'm curious to see if that'll work for my skin. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Foundation. This kind of resembles more of like a BB cream coverage wise. So I just think it's really good for just kind of evening out the overall skin tone. I'm almost out of this one. I have like another backup one, so I'm just trying to use the rest, every little last drop. And it does have an SPF of 15, which is great because even though we're inside, the sun can still see you through the windows. I'm just gonna tap this into the skin. And there's a hair on my face. There we go. So just using like a light BB cream or something is just gonna help even out the skin tone. Again, if you don't have like uneven skin tone, you can totally skip this. Just go in with a little bit of concealer under the eyes. That'll just help cancel out any dark circles or anything. So for me personally, I get more red throughout the T-zone, so that's where I'm gonna focus the most coverage, especially on the chin. For me, that's like my #1 problem area. Somehow my eyebrows still look good. I don't know. I groomed them once throughout this entire like quarantine and I don't know how they still look good. I should probably do them again, but my eyebrows are unruly when I don't keep them groomed. If you go back and look at some of my old videos, you can see what my eyebrows looked like before I got them professionally done. It's just a little bit rough. I had it like a unibrow. Good times. So next I'm going to go in with concealer. This is the Revlon Photoready concealer. This one's just really light and thin, but it still covers. So I'm just going to do a little bit on the inner corner and then the outer corner of the eye. And then I just like to do a little bit on the nose just because, again, I do get red there. And then just the sides of the mouth and then the chin a little bit. And then sides of the nose. And just concealing where you get the most red can just help like even out your overall skin tone. So even if you don't need to go in with like a foundation or something, just adding a little bit of concealer, like especially around the nose, that's where a lot of people tend to get really red. So I've been doing like very minimal makeup every day. just because I don't feel like I need a full face. I just want to like look a little bit more presentable. Those dark circles, man, they'll just like come after you. I mean, I've been getting enough sleep, but somehow I still have dark circles. And for some reason as a child, I had like way darker dark circles than I do now, which doesn't make any sense. For cream bronzer, I'm just gonna use the Wet n Wild Megaglo contouring stick. I'm just gonna take this on the e.l.f. Ultimate blending brush. I'm just gonna like graze the top of this just to get some color on the brush, and then just lightly go on the sides of the face. Now, the reason we're using mainly cream products in this is just because cream products just look like they're coming from within the skin versus sitting on top of the skin. And I feel like that's what a lot of people like want in makeup, is like not to have it look like it's on the skin, you know? And then I'm just gonna take what's left on the brush and just go under the chin, and then just blend everything out. And if it's looking a little bit heavier than you would prefer, just go over it with your sponge that has remaining foundation on it and just kind of tap over everything just to reduce any harsh lines and just make it look seamless in the skin. Now for cream blush, I'm going to be using the Honest Beauty Cream Cheek Blush in the shade Peony Pink. Any cream blush will work. And then start tapping this into the skin as well. Now, if you have normal skin, you can like skip powder altogether and just like, although I would powder like under the eyes just a little bit, just so you don't crease. But I mean, like, if you have great skin and you don't need to powder, then lucky you. And see, that just added like a really pretty flush to the face. So pretty. Why do I have glitter on my face? I don't know. I'm just gonna take what's left and just dot the nose, you know, give that youthful appearance. Now, cream highlight. I'm gonna use the Physicians Formula Spotlight Illuminating Primer. So, even though this is a primer, it does say on the back that it can be worn over foundation. So, because again, I have oily skin, which means I get shiny throughout the day. So I don't like using this all over the face. If I do use it, I just concentrate it on the areas where like I would normally apply highlighter. And then it just like looks so pretty. Because again, it's like that glow from within, and it's multi-purpose, which is great. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this on my fingers, and I just dot this. On top of the skin. And just like look at the glow. And since it's a primer, it'll last longer because it's designed to stay on. And I'll just tap what's left on my finger just above the brow bone. A little bit on the chin, and just look at the natural radiance. And you could totally wear this without foundation and just look like you're glowing. I am just gonna do a little bit of spot concealing. I just have like a little bit. Fantastic. Okay, now we're gonna set the face with powder. Usually I would use the Wet n Wild, oh my gosh, look at my hands. They're like disco balls. Oh dear. Let's clean that up. So I'm just gonna take the concealer brush that we used and just go under the eyes just to blend out any creases that we may have gotten while doing the rest of our face. And then I'm gonna take my Rimmel Stay Matte powder in Sandstorm. I actually prefer the shade Transparent, but again, just trying to use this up. because this is, like, it does have like a tint to it. So, it's not the greatest for me personally. And then I'll take a larger powder brush and just set the rest of the face. And then I'll just lightly tap over the highlighter just so we don't dull the shine but still set it down. For eyeshadow, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Shadow Lock Eyelid Primer. This one, again, not my favorite, but I'm just trying to use it up. One that I really do like is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Eye Primer. That one is really good, and it keeps my eyeshadow in place all day, which is amazing because, again, I have oily skin and makeup breaks up on me. For eyeshadow, I'm just going to use this Physicians Formula Healthy Eyeshadow Palette in Classic Nude. This is just a really nice eyeshadow palette. It comes with 4 shades. I mainly just use these 3 right here, but if you want to go a little bit smokier, then there's this option as well. I'm just going to take that cream shade and just use this to set down the eyeshadow. These are a bit dusty, but they do blend out really, really nicely. And this is great especially for like traveling if you just don't want to take like a whole palette and you only have like a few everyday colors, then I would definitely recommend this. And then I'm just going to go into this shade right here. Just build this up in the crease. Just using a circular and windshield wiper motions. So this is like my everyday eyeshadow look when I just don't want to put in that much effort, but you know, I still want my eyes to kind of pop a bit more. I'm gonna go in with that dark brown right here. I'm just gonna pop this on the outer corner of the eye. And then blend it out with the brush that we used in the crease. Now you can totally skip this step. I just like a little something something on the lower lash line. So I'm just going to take a smaller brush and just go into the shade we used in the crease. Okay, and then I'm going to take just a flat brush. I'm going to go in with that darker brown. I'm just going to pop this like on the outer edge just to connect it to the top lash line. And I just feel like doing this just makes your eyes pop a little bit more. See that? So pretty. And for mascara, you can totally skip mascara. I usually just do like a light layer of mascara. You could totally just like curl your lashes and stop. Oh, I didn't say what I was using. This is the CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Mascara. And then I'll just comb through it with a spoolie just to get out any clumps, because I feel just like clumps are just unnatural, you know? I'm going to use the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel just to set my brows in place. You could totally fill in your brows. I just have pretty full brows already, so that's just not my vibe. And lastly, for the lips, I'm just going to use the Physicians Formula Butter Lip Gloss Lipstick in the shade Soaking Up the Sun. I'm just going to tap this on the lips instead of like swiping it. I just think it looks a little bit better, especially with these. And lastly, just finishing up with a bit of setting spray. This is the Flower Beauty setting spray, but the nozzle broke on mine, so I just switched it to another spray bottle. And then I'll just take that Rimmel powder again and just set where I just get the most oily. And that is the final look. As you can see, it's very natural, but still just like a little bit more, you know? So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you aren't already, follow me on Instagram. It's at justjade_beauty. You can get behind the scenes, the final product pictures, and just more interesting content. So if you have Instagram, make sure you follow me. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!